Myra is a relentless and dedicated investigative journalist. Whether she's at the office poring over evidence or at home meticulously analyzing documents and always surrounded by scattered papers and photographs. One evening, as Myra approached her apartment building, she began to shed her jacket and gathered her bag from her neighbor. A sudden movement caught her attention, a figure emerging from the shadows near her door. As she drew closer, the figure vanished into thin air, leaving Myra wondering if she had just imagined it. Without much thought, she went into her room and settling down to continue her work. Her focus was shattered by a chilling message that popped up her phone, saying, "You are on the final loop." Anxiety flashed in her eyes as she wondered what it meant and whom sent it. She tried to brush off the ominous message and went to her bed, but a sudden call jolted her awake. "Look behind you," the voice whispers, sending chills down her spine. She suppressed her fear, telling herself it was just a prank. Exhaustion eventually won out, and she slept off. In the weeks that followed, Myra's nerve remained on edge as she drove through deserted streets, her gaze scanning the surroundings for potential threats. Arriving at her editor's house, she noticed the front door ajar, which sent her heart racing. "Mr. Thompson," she called out, but received no response. Venturing further, she entered the office to find it in disarray. Papers scattered everywhere with messages written on them. The roller coaster has reached its peak. Panic sets in as she rushed to the restroom to change. Upon exiting, she came face to face with Mr. Thompson, his eyes wide with fear. "They know," he said. Suddenly, the lights flickered and went dim, sending them into fear. In a panic, Myra pulled out a drive, intending to hide a crucial evidence, but the power cut out entirely, plunging the room into darkness. Footsteps echoed from the adjacent hallway, and Myra cautiously peered through the blinds to see a figure looming in the shadows, saying, "The ride isn't over yet." She immediately hid the last piece of evidence by packing her hair with it. Peering back to the blinds, she saw the figure far from the hallway, saying, "You've been on a wild ride, but it's not over yet," with an evil laughter echoing over the place. Just then, a faint light crept into the room as she received a message on her phone saying, "I warned you," leaving Myra and Mr. Thompson lost in their thoughts and frozen in fear. A few days later, Myra was seen fleeing over a fence, pursued by an unknown individual. Her colleague intervened, inquiring about her frantic escape, and Myra urgently requested to see Mr. Thompson. Upon reaching him, she handed over a crucial device, and they agreed to convene the next day. The following day, they scrutinized evidence on a laptop, and Myra resolved to expose the truth, despite the risk to her life. In no time, her courageous revelation sparked widespread media attention, uncovering deep-seated corruption. As news anchors from all parts of the country reported the story, Myra watched the event unfold, knowing she had crossed a threshold. Though uncertain by her future safety, she often wonders if she will live a normal and peaceful life, or will she be framed and sent to jail to rot by the people she exposed. Well, she steeled herself for any outcome, prepared to face the consequences of her actions. With a sense of determination, she dismissed her fears, embracing the unknown with a resolute, whatever happens should happen.